Hey everyone, this is Dr. Ann, and thanks so much for tuning in to the Fit Foodie Pharmacist Show, the place to be for real talk with real experts and real results, so you can heal yourself naturally. Now, if you haven't done so already, make sure you come check us out at dran.com, which is spelled A-N-H as in healthy, because there you can get my free gift, the Clean Eating Rules, and it's my #1 guide for how to eat to lose weight, because losing weight is not just about starving yourself, rather it's actually more about eating the right food at the right time and in the right amounts, and you can learn how to do that with my free guide at dran.com. Now, this episode is a little bit different from the rest because I allow myself to get really vulnerable, more so than I've ever been with any other guest. And once you meet Barbara, you'll know why. So my guest today is Barbara Robbins, and she is the Energy Optimizer. In her first year of practice, Barbara treated over 800 patients with a 97% success rate at reducing or eliminating their stress, depression, physical pain, and more. And she recently helped an injured athlete mentally, physically, and emotionally to win her first Olympic gold medal, which is pretty freaking awesome. Barbara has students in over 50 countries and thousands of clients worldwide who have benefited from her healing with no homework, high performance transformational process. And in today's show, Barbara and I chat about what exactly is an energy optimizer and how she got into it, how she was able to work on people from a distance at her computer and help them achieve a 97% success rate, why the roots of our issues are subconscious and how we can resolve them if we don't know what they are, and how to make your life better so that you can have your own gold medal life, and much, much more. So let's go chat with Barbara. Ask Barbara how to do that. Welcome, Barbara, to the show.
Hi, Ann. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you for sharing your expertise with us.
Thank you.
So let's dive right in. You call yourself the Energy Optimizer. What does that mean exactly?
Okay, you know how subatomically, when you get down to the smallest component, that's energy?
Yes.
Okay, it's not a particle. It's just vibration,
Mm-hmm.
and that vibration can get a little. This is a technical term, kaflooey.
Very technical term.
You know, when something's just wobbling a little bit, it can get a little weird, or it can turn itself off, and that's the beginning of our physical and emotional, spiritual and psychological, all our symptoms.
Huh.
So I go down to that quantum level and optimize those energy signals so they're performing at their peak.
Well, so how exactly do you do that?
The easiest way for people to understand, I think, is to use an analogy of going into a dark room and looking for the light switch.
Okay.
And when you find the light switch, you flip it on, and then there's light in the room. And so I look for the energy signals that are kaflooey or misfiring, and I just instantly flick them.
Huh.
So, not really flick, but it's using intention.
That makes sense.
It shifts it.
Yeah. Interesting.
So it's like the quantum physics principle of non-locality, where you have an electron over here and an electron over here, and they don't seem to have any relationship to each other. But if you alter the electron over here, this one changes. So if I'm over here and I'm looking and I find this misfiring energy, and using my intention, I change it, it changes over there.
Well, and why is that important? Why is it important to change the energy around the electrons? Is it affecting us on a subconscious level?
It's affecting us on a conscious level. So if you're in a car and one of your tires is low or flat, it's going to affect the efficiency that the car is running. The ride isn't going to be as smooth. Could take you longer to get where you're going. If you have a blowout and you're on the highway, what does that do?
You can't get anywhere.
You can't get anywhere, and you could die. If you're going 80, 90 miles an hour and your tire blows out, and you don't have control of the steering wheel because of that, crash and burn. So that's why it's important to start with your energy, because that's the foundation of your health and all well-being.
So I have a burning question for you, Barbara.
Okay.
When people, they're thinking about what they want to do when they grow up, they think about, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a nurse, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a pharmacist. But no one really says I want to be an energy optimizer. So, how did you get into that?
It was completely by accident. My younger daughter had a lot of issues from when she was very little. Started out with physical things, like she needed her tonsils out before she was 3, and she had to have tubes put in her ears before she was 2. And after that, we started seeing a lot of anxiety and panic and food sensitivities. And I was trying everything that I grew up knowing about, which was Western medicine. Started to branch off a little bit into homeopathy and herbs and vitamins, because just Western medicine wasn't working. And just in the process of trying to figure out how to help her, I allowed myself to be open to all different possibilities. I wound up going to taking her to a healer, and I didn't even know what he did. Someone just said, you should take her here, and I would go there, and then that person would say, you should take her here, and I would take her there, and then that person would say, you should take her here. And so I wound up taking her to this guy who was a doctor, and I was told, he will take care of her, no question, he's the perfect one. Like, okay, whatever. And as we were walking out, and she didn't seem any different. They were saying, oh, you'll notice a difference right there. But she didn't seem any different. But I never expected that, because who ever heard of something being changed right on the spot? It's take 2 and call me in the morning. At least, you're not going to see any improvement for 24 hours. Right. So I wasn't expecting anything. So I thanked him. And I felt him just like read me. He just took in my data as we were, that really deep penetrating, like I totally get you kind of look. So I shook hands with him. We walked out. He was doing a lecture demo right afterwards, but we didn't stay for it because my daughter was feeling too ill. So we got in the car. We're driving home. Oh, and I have scoliosis.
Okay.
And it got to the point where I wasn't able to hold a chiropractic adjustment. I needed to have a lift put in my right shoe.
Wow.
And I had that 1 inch lift. And I had that done like 2 weeks before. Okay. So we get in the car, we're going home. And about 10 minutes into the car ride home, it was 8 p.m. because I looked at the clock. I felt tingling and heat on my back. And I knew enough to know that that was a sign of some kind of healing, because normally that doesn't happen. You just randomly have tingling and heat anywhere in your body. So I went home, took my shoes off, looked in the mirror, and my shoulders were straight.
What?
Yeah. And so I kept going back to the mirror like every 5 minutes until I just had to go to sleep. And my shoulders stayed straight. In the morning, I barely opened my eyes, and boom, oh my God, I have to go check in the mirror. And so I jumped out of bed, went and looked in the mirror, and my shoulders were still straight. So it's like, oh, So I'm waiting. I'm waiting. The clock is ticking. I'm waiting until it's it's late enough in the, this is 7 a.m. I can't call anybody at 7 a.m. What was doctor doing last night at 8 p.m.? So it got to be 10 a.m. I called someone who had been at, who had stayed for his lecture demo the night before. And I said, Bonnie, what's Dr. Ewan doing what was he doing at 8 p.m.? And it was early enough in his lecture demo that she was able to reconstruct it. He was working on a woman who wore a lift in her shoe.
What?
So, like, of course. So I made an appointment with my chiropractor for that day because it's, what I'm seeing in the mirror, it's one thing, we can confuse ourselves, talking about food and weight and stuff. We can look in the mirror and we can perceive ourselves to be either very enormous or very slim, and neither one is true because other people see us differently. So I wanted an objective person to tell me what was going on.
Well, and somebody who had been working on you for a long time.
Exactly. Okay. And who's trained in knowing this. So I go to the chiropractor, and I'm standing there because she has a stand, and she's looking at me up and down and looking at her notes, and she says, "Well, you look really great." And I said, "Lana, I don't have my shoes on. Remember, I have a lift in my shoe." And she got a puzzled look on her face, and she looked at her notes, and she looked at me, and, back and forth. And then she said, "Who is that man?" Because I told her, what had happened. And I said, "I don't know. I'm going to find out." So I went, he was doing another lecture demo a few days later, and I went to that. And he was calling people on stage who had physical pain, and in 2 minutes or less, boom, one after another, pain is gone. And I said, I have to learn this. So I went to a workshop that he was doing. It was very easy for me to pick it up. And then I started practicing. And I didn't really have very many people to practice on, so I set up a chat room on AOL. And I was there about 2-3 hours a day, 5 days a week, practicing on people. And by the end of the year, I'd worked on over 800 people with a nearly 100% success rate at reducing or eliminating their symptoms.
Wow.
So it was fun. Yeah.
So you're telling me, you're working on people, you're not even next to them, right?
I know, isn't that cool?
How does that work?
When you think of somebody and then they call you,
yeah,
that's an energetic connection. Okay. You can even think of someone else. You could think of your mother, or you can think of a friend. You just put them into your mind. And if you quiet yourself down a little bit, you could start to get a sense of them. And the more you do this, the more sensitive you are. But let's say you think about your mother, and you can get an idea. Well, she feels a little sad right now, or your attention might go to her hip. You don't even know why, but just if you're quiet enough, your attention just goes somewhere. And as an energy healer, then I go, oh, her hip. All right, that's what we want to look at right now. There's an energy issue related to her hip. And then I would use my technique and work on that. It seems to work. The athlete that I worked on, my first session with her was while I was on a plane. She was laying in bed in her home. It was an emergency. They'd called me 2 days before, and the only time I had to work on her was while I was flying to a workshop. And they agreed to let me do that. After I got back from the workshop, I contacted her, and she had improved so much she was out training again.
What kind of pain was she experiencing?
It was she was having some emotional as well as physical issues. I can't go into any more details because of privacy concerns. Mm-hmm.
But she went on to win her first gold medal?
Yeah, yeah. They hired me after she improved, after that first round, they hired me to continue working on her as she went to the Olympics. And her event was televised. So
Huh.
I was able to even see what was going on with her. And the story of this is published in a book, Speaking Your Truth, Courageous Stories from Inspiring Women,
Mm.
Volume 2.
Okay.
And my story is called Going for Gold.
Wow. Oh my gosh, you just gave me chills.
It gave, to be honest with you, it gave me chills because um, I didn't realize that there was a part of me unconsciously that knew I wanted to work with people who want to excel,
Mm.
but it was only with working after working with her and having her win a gold medal that it came into my consciousness. Those are the kind of people I want to work with, people that want to be gold medal winners in their own life.
Mhm. Was it this past Summer Olympics that happened?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I do, I do.
I feel if I say any more details that could reveal who she is, and she wants to stay anonymous.
But
So
it's in your chapter in that book, huh?
it is. It is.
So we can find more juicy details in there?
Absolutely juicy details.
What's the book again, Barbara?
Speaking Your Truth,
Okay,
Courageous Stories from Inspiring Women. You can get it on Amazon,
okay,
and this is volume 2.
okay. I'll make sure I link that up in the show notes.
Okay, thanks.
Great. So, you said you work with athletes, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
think, I've been bodybuilding for some time, getting back into it. But I think with athletes and with a lot of people, there's this philosophy of no pain, no gain, right? Um,
Yeah.
and, the roots of our issues are subconscious. So is that really true? And so and how can we resolve those subconscious issues so that maybe there is no pain and there is gain?
Mm-hmm. Um, Almost 4 years ago, I met a man at a party. And while conversing with him, he shared with me that he was feeling suicidal.
Oh.
He'd been taking antidepressants for 15 years, seeing a therapist. He was very in touch with his pain, but
Hmm.
he was so far away from resolving it that he was ready to end his life.
Hmm.
So being in touch, being consciously in touch with your pain is not necessarily going to be the solution, because the roots of our issues reside at the energy level, which generally is subconscious. And that's a beautiful thing about doing the energy work that I do, which is called Into This Moment Quantum Optimizations. Um, because we can find that misfiring energy without having to consciously name it. And it shifts instantly, so people can feel better instantly. So are you having any physical or emotional discomfort right now?
Well, since I'm trying to sit up straight, there's a little bit of like pain in my neck right now.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the worst pain, how would you rate that neck pain right now?
I would say like a 3, 4 maybe.
Okay, I'm going to work on that right now. Guess I should keep my hand up here so you can see what I'm doing. I keep looking down at the little image of my screen, so I make sure I've got my hands in here.
Hmm.
Okay, how is your neck now?
It actually feels a little bit better. It's weird. Yeah.
So, and I didn't, and the way that I work, I tend to see like little dots and lines. I look at your whole bioenergetic field, and just find these little dots and lines, and those to me represent the points of energy that are misfiring, and then I just flick it. I
Wait, did
correct
you
it.
see a lot of points that were misfiring in my neck, or what did you see? I'm curious.
Well, I saw some, not very many, because I only worked on this for what, 15, 20 seconds.
Okay.
So there's not
Yeah.
that it looks good now. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do words too, like you to your chair, the chair to you.
Hmm.
So you're like weak. There's some weakness between you and your chair. So and this is what I'm doing is when my fingers stay like this, the energy is strong. So I just keep looking around at different things, and when I find a weak point, my fingers go like that, and then it instantly optimizes.
Hmm.
So that's what I was doing. So just, if you look at somebody, look around them, you can do that.
Can you see
Perfect.
without me telling you where else I'm experiencing a little bit of pain?
Where you're experiencing it doesn't necessarily mean that that's where the origin is. So you could have shoulder pain, but let's say you have left shoulder pain, but it could originate in your right hip.
Okay.
So it's referred.
Mm-hmm.
So
That makes
actually that's what I'm seeing right now for you. So okay. Well, whatever you were feeling, how is it now?
It's a little bit better, yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Hmm.
And so we can do this with issues with food
Yeah.
too. Yeah, like people do emotional eating, so
Mm.
we can look at, let's say someone is really into, I don't know, chocolate.
Okay, you found my weakness.
So, so when I check you to chocolate, that's strong because you love chocolate. But when I check chocolate to you, that goes weak.
Chocolate
Okay.
doesn't love me.
No, it is the chocolate. Okay, so let's check. Okay, so what's your favorite way of eating chocolate?
Um, I don't know. There's so many ways. Okay, so well, recently it's been hot chocolate.
Okay, so you're weak to that. Um, and have you been using packages of hot chocolate mix or making it yourself?
No, I learned a great new way to make hot chocolate myself using like like cocoa powder, unsweetened
Uh-huh.
cocoa powder, almond milk, sugar, and some other secret ingredients.
I hear you.
Not like the illegal stuff, you know.
No, no, I know what. Yeah, okay, got it.
Just it makes it taste good.
Yes, okay. Um, and the cocoa powder is there a particular brand or kind of cocoa powder that you've been using?
Yeah, I use Hershey's.
Hershey's. Okay, you're weak to that. But if I check you for raw cacao, that you're strong to. So if you just changed from using Hershey's cocoa powder to the raw chocolate powder, which
Hmm.
they tend to call cacao, it's organic,
Hmm.
it's processed at a low temperature so it maintains all its vitamins and minerals,
Hmm.
that you're strong to.
So
So
then
you'll
I won't.
you'll feel better.
What
It's
do you
like it's
mean?
not when you eat the things that are healthy for you,
Hmm.
and that you're also it could be that it's not even the kind of chocolate that you're eating, but this, okay, we're going to get a little woo woo here.
Okay.
That if you have let's say you have a past life where you worked on a farm where they harvest the cocoa beans and you were abused by the master there, you were a
Mm.
slave, that can carry forward into this lifetime. And so then you might have an allergy to chocolate just because of that memory. So we clear that.
Okay.
All right, I just got lost in what I was the
So
point
you were
that
talking
that
about
was a little
food.
tangent. And
Well, you were talking about food and how like the subconscious mind can affect
oh
our food
yeah,
issues.
yeah. So when you've got all this stuff going on, the unconscious memory of being abused by your the slave owner, and that it like puts a drag on you, you know, or it's like that tire that's underinflated, or maybe you don't even have the fourth tire on your car because it's a ball and chain that you're dragging around. So it creates resistance in your whole life, makes everything more difficult. So when you release those balls and chains, then you can spend your energy on more productive things, and it
Well,
flows better.
I mean, I think when I work with patients, subconsciously they might have some other things going on. Maybe they had a history of abuse
Mm-hmm.
when they were, little, or
Mm-hmm.
self-image issues, you know, um, confidence issues, and
Mm-hmm.
those present themselves in a way where then their relationship with food isn't a healthy one.
Right.
Are you kind of talking something similar to that, where you find that issue and you clear it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, just working on someone's confidence. We don't even have to think about food at the moment. We can just look at their esteem,
Hmm.
you know, and shift that. I've worked with some guys whose esteem was so low that they couldn't talk to a girl.
Hmm.
This one in particular that I'm thinking of, he could go into a pub. He lived in England. He could go into a pub with his buddies and have a great time with them. But even the thought of approaching the cute chick at the other end of the bar, he couldn't do it. And
First
after
of all,
work,
if he's British, all he needs to do is come to the United States and he'll pick up a bunch of chicks.
he couldn't talk to them. I guess he was like,
He just needs to open his mouth and we just need to hear his accent.
I think he was even worse than what Kukropali on The Big Bang Theory, where even with alcohol he couldn't talk to women.
Okay.
So we had sessions first every week. They were 30-minute sessions, and then as he started to get a little better, it went to every other week, and then I got an email from him saying he wanted to cancel the rest of his sessions. He had a girlfriend. This just took a couple months.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, honestly, I think that's the best thing when you work as a healer or a coach, when your client calls you and tells you you don't need them, they don't need you anymore.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
wonderful. Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. Huh. Well, can you help me pick up some guys? No, just kidding.
Yeah, yeah. Because so if you have some like unconscious resistance, okay, so you don't want to get hurt. Okay, so you're resisting meeting the right guy for you because it's easier to meet guys that you know are the wrong guy because then you don't get hurt,
Yeah.
right? Right. And if you meet the right guy, you totally freak out. Like, oh no, what am I going to do? This is you can hardly even, you know what I mean?
I can't even have a
Like
conversation.
you can have a conversation, but you might even sabotage it.
Mm.
You know, I'm going to get out of this first so he doesn't hurt me. So that's the first thing that I'm seeing that's an issue with meeting and being with your beloved. Okay, so let's see, and body image. That's another thing. I feel on some level that you're dissatisfied with your body. So if you stay away from meeting the right guy, because if you meet the right guy and it's time for them to see your body, that's a freaky thought for you.
Whoa, Barbara, you're getting kind of deep here.
So let's do some optimizations for you to love your body
What if I'm
as
not
it,
ready?
you're not ready yet. Well, that's the whole reason that you're coming to me right now for this, because you think you're not ready. You believe you're not ready. So we just shift all this stuff, that the false beliefs and thoughts, and you fix the roots so you can get the fruits.
I understand this philosophy.
Okay. Okay, so I love myself as I am. A guy, my beloved loves my body as it is. He's attracted to my body as it is. So these are beliefs. I can do this stuff without putting words to it, but I think it's more fun right now to put some words to it.
You like putting me on edge, I sense.
Okay, no, I don't want to put you on edge. Oh my gosh, no. Okay, so you're feeling put on edge. So let me zero that out. Okay, so you're comfortable with this. See, this is why I wanted to have some people on the call that I could work on.
So since we didn't have any, I become your test subject.
That's right. You're the example. Okay. So, okay, you're comfortable speaking with me, not yet. Being vulnerable. Okay, so there's some energy weakness to being vulnerable. And being your authentic self. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I can hear you like, no, I did public persona.
Oh my gosh.
Did you take Train the Trainer?
No, I didn't. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Part of it was because I didn't have the time off of work to go. Part of it is it scared the crap out of me, so I didn't go. So, but I know I need to.
I made a T-shirt that's available on Cafe Press. cafepress.com/glow boutique, GLOW boutique,
Like
and it says on it FTF2X.
Huh.
And the first F is a word that we tend to in public say frickin' instead of so that's the first word. So it's F the fear 2 times, FTF2X. And the first way of effing the fear is that it's just a nuisance. Oh, F that. Big deal. So when we have a fear, we just like, this is just a nuisance. And the other sense of effing the fear is to embrace it, because when we have a fear, it stands for something that we think we can't handle, and that means we're growing. It means we're growing. It doesn't mean, stay away, warning, 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 we're going to die. It just means go for it. So I think embrace it, F it, like love it.
Well, I mean, what I've learned in life is that there's that uncomfortable feeling when you are outside of your box, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is a sign that you're growing,
Mm-hmm.
but it feels really crappy.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I mean, you picked up right away that I was like, I'm not really comfortable having this conversation online right now, and I'm even considering not posting this for a while. But you're right, it's a sign of growth, right? When we're feeling uncomfortable, it's a sign of growth.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me do some optimizations for you to embrace the fear. Okay, to be comfortable with it. Because as soon as your comfort zone is here, and all right, and you want to go like just right out there.
Yeah.
So you're just taking like one step out of your comfort zone. But most people think that they have to go way out here, and that's what makes it so difficult.
Mhm.
But just one step, you can take one step.
Mhm.
Okay. But you're afraid to take that one step. So let's optimize you for deeper breathing, and it's being comfortable in your body and knowing that you're safe and that you're protected and you're valuable. And this is about loving your authentic self and being and expressing your authentic self and stepping into your magnificence. Feels better now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And when you feel that much better about yourself, your relationship with food changes.
Mhm.
Because
Because
food.
you value yourself. The choices you make are going to be different.
Mm-hmm. And you're no longer dating your food. Like, hello, pumpkin seeds. Let's watch TV together. Get that. This is as good as kissing.
Oh, not quite.
It's like, heck,
Hmm.
no, pumpkins. I don't want to kiss pumpkin seeds. Forget it. Feeling really good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, Barbara, thank you really for that impromptu session because I was not expecting it, but I feel like you brought up a lot of issues for me that rang true. So I appreciate that. And I feel a lot better already. It's weird to say, but I do. Um, I mean, I do have to run in a little bit, but before we leave, what is the one thing that you would like people to take away from today's interview?
So many people think that the situation they're in can't be changed, that their pain is permanent. And that's not true. We just experienced that today. Thank you for letting me do this little example demo on you, and that the pain isn't permanent. Your neck pain went away. The other thing that you were having a physical concern about that I said was in your hip, that went away. Some of your emotional fears about making yourself vulnerable in front of your audience, that went away. And I want people to think about it and take that in, that that's possible for them as well. And there are many ways to go about this for each person. The process that I use has benefited thousands of people over the years, and they're permanent changes. But whether someone uses my modality or someone else's, the bottom line is to get to the subconscious roots and to change that. And to be brave enough to go and try something that's a little bit different.
Hmm.
Because there are a lot of people, we're all unique, we're all like snowflakes, you know? So we're all different. So just because something is not what you've heard of, like who never heard of energy healing? I'd never heard of it when I started doing it. To be open enough to try it, it could open up your life and take you from having checked at people commit suicide all the time, even though they don't physically take themselves out. They take themselves out emotionally by thinking nothing can ever change. So look into the possibilities and know that there is something for you that can make your life better, that where you can have your own gold medal life.
Those are some great last words, Barbara.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, yes. And I think coming from my science-based background, it was honestly, it was a little difficult for me to like, oh, I wonder what Barbara's going to talk about. Is my audience going to really take her seriously? But you've changed my opinions,
Oh.
I was like, the more I was open to it, the more I realized you're right. I think there are things that we don't completely understand, that affect our subconscious and the way we run our lives as well. And you've
Hmm.
definitely demonstrated that for me, so I really appreciate it. Um, if people want to find out more about you, Barbara, how can they get more information?
They can go to healingisfun.com/fitfoodie.
Okay.
Um, the If they're watching the video, that URL is at the bottom of the screen, and I have a report there for them. It's 5 simple actions that can instantly raise their emotional and physical well-being.
Awesome. You're hooking us up. Thanks for the free gift, Barbara.
You're welcome.
So I'll make sure I'll link that up also on the show
Okay.
notes on the website. But if everyone didn't catch that, it's healingisfun.com/fitfoodie is
Mm-hmm.
where you can get the free guide from Barbara and learn more about her as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And my contact information is in the guide,
okay.
so they can feel free to contact me, email or phone, whatever.
Great. Well, I am so happy we connected again, Barbara. I really appreciate your time, and I'm sure we'll be in touch since you're practically just a hop and a skip away from me. So,
Yeah, yeah.
well, you have a fantastic day, and we'll chat again soon. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much, Anne. I want to say goodbye to everyone who is watching and listening, and give everyone a huge hug and just send a whoosh of energy optimizations to elevate everybody's spirit for the day.
Wow. I can see why people love you.
Oh, thank you, Anne.
You're welcome. You have a great day, Barbara.
Thanks. You too. Take care.
Hey, so I hope you enjoyed the show. That was Barbara from healingisfun.com. You can grab her free gift at healingisfun.com/fitfoodie. And again, all the links and resources mentioned today will be on the show notes at drann.com, spelled ANH as in healthy. So while you're there, make sure you jump on the Fit Foodie VIP email list at drann.com/VIP, and you'll be the first to know about new recipes, episodes, programs, and events. You'll get surprises and VIP only content and exclusive insights that I only share with my email subscribers. And stay tuned because we've got plenty of fun guests coming up, including Ari Meisel, who healed his Crohn's disease through diet and exercise and is the founder of LessDoing.com, as well as Stephanie Innes from FitInnesTraining.com, who overcame an eating disorder and healed her fatty liver disease, just to name a few. So make sure you stay tuned. And thanks so much again for stopping by. I'm Dr. Ann, and until next time, have a fit and tasty day. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends because we need more people to hear the food as medicine message. And make sure to head over to drann.com and sign up for free updates because I share some insights in my email updates that I don't share anywhere else. And before you go, don't forget to leave a comment because I absolutely love hearing from you.